Good morning, students. Let's come to the topic we were discussing previous class in previous video. Started the history, chapter 1, the first war of independence of 1857, which is also called the Great Revolt of 1857 against the British company. And the causes were political causes, social causes, economic causes, and military causes, as we already discussed in previous lesson. To continue today, as first cause we already finished and discussed the political cause. Now, next come second cause for the revolt against East India Company, that is social religious cause. Under this cause, there are many activities took place those days which were not very favorable for the Indians. Therefore, they stand taking a challenge for a revolt against East India Company. The first cause under this is activity of Christian missionaries. The activity of Christian missionaries those days, they started spreading the Christian religion. And while spreading the Christians missionaries criticized the Hindus and the Muslims and their faiths and the customs. The teaching of Christian doctrine was made compulsory in the schools and colleges. Bible was introduced in both government and the public non-government schools. Even in the jail, prisoners were instructed in Christianity. The British officials preached Christian doctrines in everywhere. The conservative, illiterate Indians thought the Christian missionaries were trying to convert the Hindus and Muslims into Christianity. Second cause, the introduction of telegraph and railways. There was a myth about the telegraph along with the railways. British company, they made a rule compulsory for all the Indians to sit in one compartment of the train altogether. For all the castes, higher caste, lower caste, everybody, they are asked to sit together in the one compartment of the railway. Therefore, Indians were very upset and they were not happy for this law introduced by East India Company, because Indians got the problem for untouchability since beginning. They don't like to sit with the lower caste people. Therefore, they oppose, and when they oppose, as I said, there was a myth for telegraph. Whoever opposed to sit in one compartment, they are hanged to this telegraph till death. And this also was railway. Anyone who is not willing to sit in the train, there also was a fear that if anyone disobeyed the British, he would be thrown in front of an approaching engine. Therefore, this telegraph and railway was not suitable for Indians. Third, the introduction of Western education. East India Company introduced everywhere the English medium schools. They removed many of the Sanskrit teachers and Urdu teachers from many schools. The Western education through the medium of English was introduced in a number of schools in India. In 1929, the Bengal government established an English class in Calcutta. In Madrasa was a Muslim academic institution. Afterward, English class were introduced in Banaras Sanskrit College also. Likewise, the Western education was not giving much favor to Indian people. Therefore, they are against British company. Now, last, law interfering with the religious and social custom of Indians. We need to understand how which law can interfere with the religious and social customs of Indians. In this, there were some customs which were abolished and abandoned by the British people. Likewise, one custom was in Indian Hindu society, that to sati pritha. Under this sati pritha, if anyone's husband dies, the wife of the same husband supposed to die along with the husband in fire. This was an abolition. The social reforms like the abolition of sati 1929, the introduction of the widow remarriage, the provision of female infanticide, polygamy and child marriage had not been eagerly accepted by the people. British people don't like all these things, so therefore they abolished, and Indian people thought the British people are interfering in our social customs. Therefore, these are the social religious causes for Indian people. They were not willing to accept these things. Therefore, they rebelled against British East India Company. The third cause comes for the economic cause. The economic cause was the one major cause for the people of India to stand against British Company. Number one, under this, the ruin of trade and the handicrafts. India is based on handicrafts and the trade. They were exploited, they were not given the better privileges, therefore the heavy duties were imposed on Indians like silk, cotton and textiles, 70 to 80% respectively. The tax were charged for the trade in India. In order to destroy those industries, on the contrary, British goods were imported into India. British people, in spite of buying the things from India, they started bringing things from Britain and selling in India on the high prices, but they take raw material from India on the very nominal price. At the same time, they used to charge 70 to 80% revenue, the trading tax, which everyone need to suppose. So in both the ways, one, Indian people are selling their goods or raw material on the low prices. At the same time, when the prepared good comes from Britain to India, they are buying on a high prices. So both the ways they are in loss. Therefore, this way, the manufacturers towns like Dhaka, Murshidabad and Surat look like desolated also due to the disappearance of their traditional patrons and customs like Nawabs and Princess Minister extra. Then third, ill treatment meted out to the indigo cultivators. This way also the indigo cultivators were asked to cultivate only indigo rather than any other crops. If anyone is cultivating any other crop like sugarcane, wheat, rice, other, so they used to destroy. Europeans come and destroy their crops for this. They want only indigo to be cultivated by Indian cultivators. Impoverishment of cultivators. British government had introduced a number of land revenues settlements in India. There were many revenues were imposed on Indians to make them poor. Therefore, Indians were not happy. The annexation of rent-free lands. Annexation of rent-free lands. Lord William Bentinck also not only attached several jagirs in Bengal but also confiscated the tax-free lands. The Imam Commission appointed by Lord Dalhousie confiscated about 20,000 estates in the Deccan as many of the landowners failed to produce their titles deeds. This created serious complication in the economic condition of the Indians. Growing unemployment. With the introduction of Western education in a number of Brahmins, Pandits and Muslims, Maulvis imparting Oriental education became jobless because British company they introduced English medium schools only rather than Sanskrit and Urdu. They don't want this Sanskrit and Urdu, therefore they want everybody to study in English medium. So because of this reason, many Hindu Brahmins and Maulvis became jobless. Big famine. The big famine brought great misery to the people of India who already had been facing economic hardship. The big famine of 1837 to 1838 forced people to leave their native places in search of food. The government not eager to provide relief to these famine-stricken people. And last, the economic exploitations. Economic exploitation. India was subjected of planned economic exploitation of British from 1757 to 1857. There was a tremendous drainage of Indian wealth to England. As we discussed in the previous class, before British people coming to India and ruling, there were many other people like Mughals, they ruled India. They never drained the Indian wealth to their own countries. They used the same money collected by the revenues for the welfare of Indian land. But here, British people, all the revenue was collected and surcharges and this and so many other taxes. They drained to Britain to multiply and modify their country rather than the Indians. Besides this, the time of Industrial Revolution in England, the company systematically followed a policy of converting India into a supplier of raw material and market for British industrial products. British people, they used to buy raw material from India and taking to Britain, preparing the goods, bringing the prepared goods to sell in India on high price. Therefore, this was an economic exploitation. Thus, the British converted India into an agriculture colony of Great Britain. So, these are the causes. The first cause, as we discussed already, the political cause, and second is social, religious cause, and third is economic cause. The last and the final remaining, fourth cause is the military cause, which will be discussed in next class and next video. Therefore, till that, continue reading and studying. Along with this, I am going to send some of the questions and answers for you to take down in your notebook and keep studying. And thank you so much for now. We'll continue for the next class.